On Wednesday, October 10th, 2012, Peter Chadwick and his wife, Qui, disappeared from their California home. Peter was a very wealthy man, and the family lived in a well-guarded, prestigious neighborhood. Police had no idea what had happened to these successful people. But the next day at 9:11 a.m., a call came in that clarified their disappearance. Born in Britain, he was 48 years old at the time of his disappearance. He was a real estate investor, well positioned for this, as his father was also a millionaire. His wife, Qui, was 46 years old and also from a wealthy family from Malaysia. They met in college and married 21 years ago. While Peter continued to develop his construction business, Qui remained the perfect homemaker, raising 3 sons. Her children were the most important thing in her life. Literally, the Chadwicks' entire house was filled with photographs of their children. Neighbors described her as a very kind and friendly woman. As for Peter, despite his lack of social interaction with his neighbors, everyone considered him a good father. Given this attitude toward their children, it was very strange that on the afternoon of October 10th, 2012, no parents showed up to pick them up from the bus stop to take them home. The children were spotted by a neighbor of the family. She drove them home herself, but the children couldn't get in because no one answered the door. The children didn't have their own house keys. They simply didn't need them, as they always arrived home with either Peter or Kavi. The woman couldn't leave the children unattended, so she took them home. A couple of hours later, when neither parent showed up, the neighbor called the police to check on the Chadwick family's home. From the outside, the house looked normal. There were no signs of forced entry. Finding no evidence of a break-in, the police decided to enter the house. Neither Peter nor Quiet were inside, but it became clear to the police that something was wrong with Peter and Quiet's disappearance. The large safe in Peter's office was open, containing various work documents, Peter's money, and passports. But this time, neither the passports nor the money were there. The kitchen also attracted the police's attention. It looked as if Peter and Quiet were having lunch, but something was driving out of the Chadwick family home in their own car. To the police, it looked as if a crime had been committed in the house, an unplanned one. It had been committed suddenly in a fit of passion, and the perpetrator had immediately left the house, not even bothering to hide the evidence. However, when it came to the question of what exactly had happened in the house where Peter and Quiet Chadwick had disappeared, the police had no answers. But the next day at 9:11, a man called who clarified the disappearance of the family.
Yeah, my wife's dead. They took her.
Who took her?
The guy broke into my house. They've gone in a pickup truck.
Okay, so your wife did that.
She's dead. Yeah, they killed her yesterday.
They killed her yesterday. He said that his wife is dead, but someone broke into the house and stole and he took her.
Yeah,
okay, what?
Found her.
Who is he?
Juan.
Juan, how do you know Juan?
I picked him up to look at some painting work at the house. I brought him to the house.
And when did this happen?
Yesterday, middle of the day.
The caller was Peter Chadwick. He claimed that yesterday some people killed his wife. He himself was kidnapped. This story seemed strange, even to the 911 operator. So she tried to talk to Peter as much as possible to keep him on the phone until the police arrived. Chadwick was taken to the police station and told the officers his story. According to Peter, a couple of days earlier, while he was at one of the construction sites in which he invested, he was approached by a worker named Juan. Juan asked Peter if Peter could offer him any other work, and Peter replied that he could offer him a job painting his house. And on October 10th, Juan started work Peter was at home that day working in his home office. At some point, Peter heard his wife's screams from the bathroom. He ran to her and saw Juan strangling his wife in the bathroom. Juan was a very strong man, and Peter was unable to stop him. Ultimately, Peter's wife was strangled by Juan. Juan pulled out a large knife and forced Peter to wrap his wife's body in a blanket. Juan then forced Peter to open the safe and took $10,000 in jewelry and Peter and his wife's passports. Afterward, Juan forced Peter to put his wife's body in the family SUV, held a knife to his throat, and forced him to drive towards San Diego, near the Mexican border. Throughout the drive, Peter begged Juan to let him bury his wife's body. During the drive, Juan called his friend. They spoke in Spanish, and Peter couldn't understand anything they said. Near the Mexican border, Juan ordered Peter to stop at a gas station. They waited for Juan's friend, whom Juan had called earlier. When Juan's friend arrived, they transferred Peter's wife's body to another car and drove toward Mexico, saying they would call later. Peter would be told where to leave his wife's body. After they left, Peter immediately went to a gas station and called 911. That was the story of Peter Chadwick. The police were skeptical of his story, as no trace of Juan was found in the house or car. And Chadwick's neck was covered in scratches, as if made by women's fingernails. Peter was ultimately arrested and became the prime suspect in the case. Only one thing remained unclear: why Peter Chadwick killed his wife, with whom he was raising 3 children. Further investigation revealed that, in reality, this family had only seemed happy. Over the past few years, the couple's relationship had deteriorated significantly. Cui believed that Peter was no longer paying her the attention he deserved. She repeatedly told her friends that he was cheating on her, and recently, she had been trying to distance herself from him as much as possible. A friend of Cui's confirmed that Cui was considering divorce, which would have forced Peter to give Cui a portion of his fortune. As evidence of the couple's rift, police discovered a handwritten page of text, titled like the one from Peter's computer. It appeared as if Cui was monitoring her husband's search queries and secretly recording his online interests. Naturally, such queries were bound to upset Peter's wife. His searches mostly focused on Asian prostitutes. But there were also some truly disturbing queries, such as how much an abortion costs in California or how to torture people. Furthermore, police learned that shortly before Quick's disappearance, Peter had contracted several illnesses, which his wife learned about. A few days after Peter's arrest, police found Cui's body in a dumpster near San Diego. Along with her body, they found her jewelry, money, and passports. Cui herself had been strangled, which raised even more questions for Peter, particularly as to why this Juan had dumped the jewelry and money along with the body. Peter was charged with his wife's murder. As I said, Peter was a wealthy man, and he used all his connections to avoid facing prison time. One of his main arguments was that he needed to take care of his 3 children. Ultimately, using all his family's influence, Peter managed to secure bail for $1 million during his trial, on the condition that he surrender both his British and American passports. However, this was a huge mistake for the police. Peter withdrew as much cash as possible from all his credit cards and disappeared. Somehow, without documents, he managed to, was offered for his capture and a reward of up to $100,000. Peter managed to hide in Mexico for 4 long years. But just recently, in August 2019, Peter was arrested in Mexico and deported to the United States. Peter Chadwick's trial is currently ongoing, but it is absolutely certain that no one will release him on bail this time.